Nowadays, modern people live a convenient life with the rise of technology. It has improved communication, education, business, healthcare, and basically every application in life. But have you ever thought of the little things in everyday life that seem insignificant to us? Well, maybe just these small inventions have had a huge influence to our way of living. My project is all about 3 influential inventions from different categories: healthcare, science, and food, without which we can barely imagine life. The toothbrush. Nowadays, oral hygiene is one of the most important factors of keeping a person healthy. Millions of people from all over the world brush their teeth once or even twice a day without even thinking about it. So, who could have thought of inventing the toothbrush? It is all merit to William Addis. While being in prison for causing a riot, he sees the bad hygiene other prisoners have and decides to improve it. He realizes that the old method for brushing teeth, rubbing a rag with soot and salt into the teeth, wasn't effective, and he decides to change it for the better. After a meal, he saves an animal bone and drilled small holes into it. He tied some tufts of bristles he had obtained from one of the guards. He passed the bristles through the holes in the bone, and this was actually the first bristle toothbrush ever invented, and the first invention made in prison. After William Addis's release, he became wealthy after starting a business manufacturing toothbrushes. Even though he's not alive now, his company produces 70 million toothbrushes a week. This also proves how much they are used and needed. Imagine if. But what if the toothbrush was never invented? What would happen to us in our teeth? How important is the meaning of this invention? If William Addis never invented the toothbrush and we weren't able to brush our teeth, first, our enamel would start to progressively destroy and we'll feel horrible pain. Soon or late, our teeth will fall out and we won't be able to be fixed by a dentist. The light bulb. Even though the whole world knows that the American inventor Thomas Edison has made the first light bulb, it was actually the British physicist Joseph Swan who first thought of inventing the incandescent light bulb. In the 1850s, Joseph Swan, the British physicist, started working on the first light bulb using a carbonized paper filament and a glass bulb. However, for the lack of good vacuum and an adequate electric source, his light bulb wasn't convenient and ended with a short lifetime. However, Swan didn't give up, and in the 1875, however, Swan returned to consider his problem of his previous light bulb with a better aid of vacuum and a carbonized thread as a filament. His now improved light bulb lasted much longer and was used to illuminate homes, public buildings, including the famous Savoy Theatre in London. And now I'll tell you how the light bulb works. This here is a model of the light bulb. The first step of lighting it is taking out all the air from the glass bulb, which results with vacuum inside. This is a really important step in the light bulb's lighting, because without the aid of vacuum, the metal wire would burn up really quickly and would result with a light bulb with short lifetime. The light bulb is connected to a battery which produces energy and heats up the metal wire. As it heats up, it starts to glow. And this is all of the steps of lighting the light bulb. Imagine if. In my opinion, the light bulb is one of the most important inventions of our time. It gives us light after dark and enables us to enjoy the sunset to its fullest. But what if Joseph Swan never invented the light bulb? I think without the artificial light, there would be many activities that we won't be able to do, but I think there are a few that are vital. For example, preparing meals, performing surgeries, or traveling at night. We finally come up to the sweetest part of the project, the invention of the chocolate bar. The first sweet people have ever eaten since the prehistoric times was honey. This is a natural product, but who was the first man to invent a mass-produced confectionery? Well, the history of candy started back in the 1847. The first chocolate bar was invented by Joseph Fry and his son, who pressed paste made of cocoa powder and sugar into a bar shape. Later on, Cadbury and Fry joined forces to become great chocolate confectioners. Did you know that nowadays their company produces the really famous Marvelous Creations jelly popping candy shells, which is actually really curious. It is milk chocolate with big jelly beans inside. Thousands of people consume chocolate from all over the world, more than once a day, but they never thought of all the effort and time that are put into making the chocolate. Here, I've got a brief story of how is chocolate produced. After the raw cocoa beans are delivered to the factory, they're roasted in big rotating cylinders. This way, their color gets darker and their chocolate aroma strengthens. Because of the roasting, their casing crack, which is an important fact for the second step, removing the casing by a special blowing method. The third step is the milling. The now clean cocoa beans are milled to obtain cocoa butter and cocoa mass, part of which is dried to obtain cocoa powder. The rest of the now liquid cocoa is mixed with some other ingredients to obtain chocolate, for example, sugar, flavors, and milk for milk chocolate. The now liquid chocolate is poured into bar-shaped molds and is let to dry overnight. And all this is the path the chocolate goes through. You saw how important all these inventions were and how life wouldn't be possible without them. And now I'll tell you a fun and interesting fact about British inventions. Did you know that 40% of all of the world's inventions are actually due to the Britons, and especially England? The end, and thank you for your attention.